Happy Wednesday, Tour and Shellina.
Happy Wednesday, Consuela.
Happy Wednesday, Consuela.
I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. I can't. You've been a favorite of mine for a really long time, and a friend, of course.
Yeah.
And so to be able to have this moment with you, this interview opportunity is really cool. I know a lot of folks are fans of OMY and want to be able to know more about you and your story. And I'm just really excited that we get to share that tonight.
Yeah, when you asked me, I was like, yes, absolutely. And then I was like, oh my gosh, but I'm going to be on live stream. Oh no, I don't know if I'm okay with that, but
it's like, what did I agree to?
Yeah, I've always loved your videos, and like the dynamic between you two is so fun. And yeah, how could I say no?
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, we've definitely always been fans of OMY, and for a long time, I was a Vista user as one of the few decent
weren't we all, though?
male animations out there, and
Yeah.
then seeing the stuff that OMY puts out, I was like, oh, okay, this is much more of my vibe, and I love just being able to mix and match the bits. So
that's awesome.
And honestly, Vista feels like forever ago when you said that. I was like,
yeah, but I think everybody's kind of like had their day with Vista. Some people refuse to change, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, they're still out.
Great.
They're still making stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it, because one thing that, of course, I noticed is you have been around for a while, not as long as Consuela and I, at least on this avatar, maybe longer, depending on if you have alts. But anyway,
my alt is the store bought. That's my original account, is the store bought behind the counter there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the original one. I initially rage. Yeah, I initially rage quit on.
Oh.
And then when I decided to come back, I forgot my password, because I was like, I don't even remember my password. So then I created the account that I have now, which is kind of funny. And then eventually I got to recover the account, and I was like, what am I going to do with 2 accounts? Store bought, done.
2? Only 2?
just 2, yeah.
I am an alt creator.
Are you? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun to sort of have different personalities. You can why just pick one?
Exactly.
And
that's definitely Consuela's vibe. Go ahead.
Yes. Now I was going to say, it's funny that you mentioned your store bought, because your store bought was one of the reasons why I decided, well, I like to be my legacy name is Queen.rizzler. And so your store bought greeting me saying, hello, Queen. I always hear it in a way that makes me happy.
Yes.
I was like, now when I go to OMY, it's going to be, hello, Queen. I'm like, hey, OMY.
So where are you
He's
hearing
always
that?
like, hi, Daddy, welcome to OMY.
I know, hi, Daddy.
Which is fine.
It's funny because when I created that store bot, you can plug in responses and how you want the avatar to respond. So me being cheeky, I was like, if anybody comments on the actual avatar, I'd be like, hey, meet me out back. Flirty little things. So it kind of throw people off, what is this?
That's awesome. I love that your CSR is your original account, and in fact older than you.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Or not CSR, but your store bought.
Store bought, yeah.
That's amazing. But okay, so yeah, how did you first stumble into Second Life as whatever your original name was? Not OMY Alpha, but
it was
else,
Shellina.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Shellina. So I first stumbled into Second Life by being in another virtual world. So Kaniva. It's long gone. It's dead, buried in the graveyard. But that is another virtual world platform, very, very small, and I was a creator there.
Okay.
I just did some clothing and some animation and just kind of played around. And I was there for a little bit, and then I also am a Sims lover, which I know most of us are.
Yeah.
So, anytime I was on the community and like Sims and like looking for downloads, there was always like advertising for Second Life, and I was like, that looks pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, so that kind of like attracted my attention, and then when Kaniva started to die down, um, people there were like, you should check out Second Life. It's really amazing, and there's tons of people and that sort of thing. And uh, yeah, I just kind of ventured my way over.
Huh. And how was your first experience around the grid?
Well, like I said, when I first started on my store bought, I rage quit because,
Yeah.
when you start out as a new person, you kind of go through the whole like tutorial of learning how to move and walk and jump and all that.
Uh-oh.
And
Your avatar went away.
oh no, did I crash?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think
Oh
so.
no.
You're fine. Continue. You'll bring
Okay.
yourself back. We can still
Spooky
hear you.
ghost.
Yeah.
Okay, good. For now, at least. I hope I don't crash.
Well, it's funny that your avatar disappeared right when you were talking about rage quitting.
Right? It was probably like,
So
bye.
It's like, let me illustrate for you how this went.
Basically.
But I'm curious, was there a tutorial for you back then? Because I know for
Yeah.
me there wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
there
she was a little bit later. She was
Yeah.
2008, I think it said over there. Yeah.
Something
so
like that. I'm not sure.
2008.
Yeah, but I
which
was
is a little-
2007 and there was like zero tutorial, or I came in the back door. I'm not sure. But
yeah,
there was no
apparently we
tutorial.
just missed out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I can remember, there was like a tutorial. It was kind of like Mario Brothers, where you like collect all the coins and jump around, sort of thing.
Huh.
I think that's like long dead since, but that's what I kind of did. And then I was like, look at my horrendous avatar. What the heck is going on? So like, there's a huge learning curve for Second Life, and I'm sure
There
like
is.
everybody's experienced this when you first join. It's like, what the hell is going on? So, I mean, I tried to, look in my inventory to change clothes or whatever, and I ended up removing all of my clothes. So I was like this naked avatar running around, and I remember hearing like a few girls on voice, and they were talking, and I ran over to them, and I was like trying to talk, but I couldn't figure out how to put my mic on. So I'm like, how do I put my clothes on? And they're like, oh my God, this naked noob here. And I was like, oh, I just logged out. I was like, I'm done.
Wow. So
Yeah,
your rage
so
quitting
that-
happened pretty immediately then?
Almost immediately. Yeah,
Wow.
like probably within the first hour. And I
Oh.
didn't like come back until like years later.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Well,
not
what brought you
impressed.
back then?
Again, curiosity. I was like, maybe I was a little bit too harsh.
Okay.
Give it a try again, and then I couldn't figure out my login. So I created the avatar that I have now.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
My screen went black. Is that bad? Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no. That's fine. I just pulled back so we could see your store while we talk. Because just
Oh,
being
okay.
focused on me and tour while we talk to a chair is not as visually.
I know.
But, you know-
I think I might have to restart, sadly.
Oh,
Wait,
like your
I
whole
can
system?
zoom in on the store bot. It's basically
Yeah, I pulled back for a second, and then I know she's got her sexy hot ad that she blurred for YouTube. She told me she blurred it for YouTube.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's fine, but I some folks were dropping A's in the chat, so I don't know if they were trying to say that was adult. It is, but things are blurred, but YouTube's finicky, so I decided let's not risk it. So I
Yeah.
just pulled up
Yeah,
and over a little bit so people can see us. But do you have to do like a full system reboot? Like, do we
I
need
think
to
so, yeah.
pause for a second?
I'm pretty sure my computer hates me right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm ordering a new computer, so
Oh.
hopefully I don't like my existing computer that right now that I'm on is like literally full of all OMY Blender files,
Uh-huh.
and it's just chugging. It's like, ugh,
Oh,
can barely keep up. So,
okay.
yeah, I think I probably need a
Okay.
restart.
Well, we can take a little break. So, tour, right?
Okay.
You want me to just switch to the be right back and let her do that?
Sure,
Or
yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
All right. So, we'll
Okay.
be right back once Shellina restarts her computer. Stay tuned.
BRB.
All right, we're back. Shelina's back. Welcome back, Shellina.
I'm back. Thank you. That was a doozy.
Ooh, just a little bit of
Just a little,
no big
yeah. All
Lovely
right.
technology you can always count on.
Indeed, indeed. So, you were telling us about rage quitting SL.
Yeah.
That's right. I was like, where were we? Oh, right. The rage quitting. After an
Yeah,
hour.
so that basically happened, and then I decided maybe I was a little bit too harsh and to give it another shot, and then, you know, uh, kind of calming myself down and like, giving myself some patience and like when you're so used to like playing like in another virtual world and then you make a transition to an into like something very different and Second Life is so it's not
It's
easy when
not
you're new.
intuitive. It's
No.
definitely not intuitive.
No. So like the game I was in before, the virtual world I was in before, it was very intuitive.
Mhm.
And I was like, what are all these windows? Like, how do I put things on? Like, what is happening? So,
Yeah,
like as I slowly learned to figure it out, it was definitely a lot smoother for me.
totally can understand that. That's very interesting. And the comment that you make about like the early Avatar just looking horrible is, I mean, it looked even worse for me, I'll say, but
Yeah, it was bad.
because I was in the era of the like original Ruth. But yeah, now they have actually they give people
Yes.
a pretty good setup to start with.
Well, Shellina knows all about that, don't you, Shellina?
I
Yeah.
do. I was thankfully a part of that whole experience and creating like a welcome package for the avatars, which was really nice with some like
Super
other
nice.
amazing, talented creators.
Yeah, so
So
you might have had a hand in preventing someone else from rage quitting.
That's
that, you know
right.
what? And we were all talking about that. We're like, man, when we started, it was so bad for us. So we're like, we're really happy to do this because we all know what it's like. So
Hmm.
everybody was pretty excited, all the other creators, though.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was thrilled because as I alluded to earlier, I enjoy creating alts. And I created every now and again because Second Life was, I'm in the Blogger Network, right? So there's been a lot of news coming out through the Blogger Network from Linden Labs. And I know they were trying to change like the new user experience. So every now
Yeah.
and again, I'll just like make an avatar to go through the new user experience. And
Yeah.
so I made one and she was already designated as the budget avatar. Like I'm not spending money on her. I'm just using like new user, not putting money in, just basic. And so she was Senra for a long time, and I was learning to love her. It was hard, and then when the welcome kits came out, and I was just over the moon. I was like, this is amazing. Not only do I get
Yeah.
like mesh head, mesh body, but oh my animations on top of that. Like
Yeah,
I was just
we were all
thrilled.
like really happy about it too.
Yeah.
All of us. There was a group of us that were all involved, and we were all like really pumped, and there was a lot of like fun energy, and like everybody was curious on how the community would react, and like most like more than anything, it was for the new users and just having them like an avatar right off the bat. You see a lot of commercials for Second Life, and you're like, oh wow, that looks really great. But then you log in and create an account, and it's not at all
Senra.
the reality, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this way it felt a little bit more connected. You didn't feel like a complete like you were in an alternate universe. You felt like you could have been in one of those commercials.
Right.
Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into like animation specifically in Second Life? Was that something that you always had an interest in? Was it something that you've done outside of SL or?
I've always kind of like played in Blender, never like a project from start to finish. So I was kind of like basically familiar with Blender, but not to the point where like creator level. But what kind of like, I didn't immediately start creating as soon as after I came back off my rage quit. There was several years where I didn't do anything. I was just a regular, resident, and just enjoyed everything that Second Life had to offer. And when I started like getting good at creating an avatar, um, I felt like there was like I would spend all this time and money and energy and effort on creating like a look and like getting the head and everything perfect how I wanted. But when it came to like an AO, it just fell really short for me. Um, and for years, I was just shopping at Post stores trying to like craft the perfect AO, and it wasn't coming together for me. Um, and then I kind of thought, you know what? I feel like there's like huge gap missing here. Like there's tons of clothing stores, there's tons of furniture stores, there's tons of home stores, but like
Hmm.
nobody is really like finding a good solid market for in between like the static poses and
Right.
the chaotic poses, like the animations. Like where's the good middle for me, right? Like I wanted something in there. Couldn't really find it. There's some really great stores out there, but for me it was still kind of like missing some realism. And I thought, you know what, if I can't buy it, I'm going to build it. And that's exactly what I did. So um, I've always had like an interest in like the human body and like movement and that sort of thing. Like I'm a creative person outside of Second Life. Like I sculpt and paint and draw and
Hmm.
all
Oh,
that sort of stuff. And it's kind of like been ingrained in me, in my DNA. Like I come from a long line of artists in my family.
really?
So
That's
yeah, so it
awesome.
was kind of like being creative is just an extension. Like it's not something I need to try to do. It just comes out in
Hmm.
some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this gap here. I think I could really nail it. But yeah, not having like a an extensive knowledge in Blender or animations, and it's a little bit tricky at first.
You're like sculptings and drawings and stuff. Are those mostly focused on the human body or like?
Yeah, almost all the time. I feel like there's like something so beautiful in the human body and shapes,
Mm.
and it's like you can speak a language without actually speaking a language. You can communicate with body language without saying a word.
Hmm.
So I've always like even when I painted or sculpted or whatever, it was always like movement. So I would like sculpt a female body in like mid movement, and I just found that was like the muscles and how the body bends, and I just thought that was like for me it was like beauty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it,
for
it just
sure.
kind of it just felt like it really connected in terms of like creating in Second Life and what I was going to create.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes me curious. Like, do you do you still pursue that in first life? Do you still like, draw and sculpt
Of
and
course.
such? And
Yeah, I don't mean I don't do it as much as I'd like to, but um like I feel like I remember being a child and I think I failed grade 1 for
Aw.
kindergarten. And the thing on my report card was Shell is really a quiet girl, but she likes to do her own thing and she's always drawing. Like she's off in her
Mm.
own little world drawing, and I was like, that's still how I am. Like I'm still that
Mm-hmm.
little kid, right?
yeah.
So I mean, I yeah, it's just kind of something that is always there. I don't like get to practice and do it as much as I want to. Just there's just not enough hours in the day, but yeah, it's something I love. It'll always be a part of me.
I'm I, I'm kind of like curious if you'd ever consider bringing some of those drawings into SL, like in just decorating your store with some of them.
I
Um,
have,
you
but
have?
yeah, a long time ago. Like I don't even
Ah.
know what they look like. I doodle a lot for my friends, and they just crack up and send them a gaiazo with my doodles, and they're like, "Oh my God, you just did that!" But
That's
it's just for
awesome.
fun. I don't really like, I think one of the things about being like an artsy kind of person is that a lot of times it's a really personal thing.
That's
So
true.
there's a lot of artists that like love having their stuff viewed and people looking at it and admiring it or critiquing it or whatever. But I think for me, like art and sculpting and painting is really like a personal thing, and I don't
Okay.
really make I've never really made that to be viewed like yeah, like I remember being in college and having like painted all these canvases and everything and sculpted a bunch of stuff and I just stuffed it in my closet and would friends would come over and they like were like all this stuff is tumbling out and they're like, what is this, why don't you put it up? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna burn it,
No.
you know, like, so
No.
it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a personal thing, right? It's like
Okay.
exposing your
Yeah.
soul, you know,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it could be different things for different people, but for me it always kind of felt like that, so I'm yeah.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Huh. That's very cool, though. I love that. You know, um, that just kind of innate creativity and desire towards expression. Um, what just I I definitely want to come back to that, but for the moment, was curious more about your second life. Obviously, at first you didn't open a store and you kind of just fussed around Second Life, but now that you do run a store, do you ever have time to do other things in SL? And if so, what kinds of things do you still get up to?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I love Second Life. I have always had like a love for it. It just, even before creating, I would log in all the time. And so, I mean, that love is not going to go away. Granted, I don't have as much time to spend doing the things that I once, you know, have done like all the time. But um, I still, you know, whenever in between events, if I get some time, I'll, you know, shoot a message to one of my good friends like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, you're not working? I'm like, yeah, TP me. And they're like, okay, I'm at a party. So it's, you know, I still like to do those things and get out and listen to live music.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I love live events and things like that. Hanging out with my friends. I'm blessed to have some really good friends that I've had for several years, and a bunch of them work with me at OMY, so it's kind of like a little bit of a family. I was telling you guys before we went on live, I'm kind of like an introvert, despite what people might think. Um, I'm a quiet kind of person, but I can also put on the party girl hat. But you know, I like small groups of friends and things like that. So yeah, I have like friends that I still hang out with, and we go do stuff. And you know, once in a while we'll like plan a Second Life vacation and go to like the
Oh yeah.
snowy Alps or the beach or whatever, which is kind of fun. But things like that, I mean, all the things that I used to do, like shopping, of course. Shopping's probably like the second most thing I do besides oh
Right?
my.
That's
But
like the number one pastime in Second Life is
I
shopping.
know it's so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad, but it's so like cathartic. You know,
Yeah.
it feels so good. But yeah, I like doing all the things that I used to do. I just have to uh you know, use my time a little bit more wisely. But I think it's important to sort of keep a connection with why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of creators, they just come online, they log, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they come online, they log in, they do their work, they log out, they don't come back, and they don't deal with whatever until it's
Mm.
the next event or the
Hmm.
next release. And that works for some people. That's the balance that they have. But for me, I found like I have to, you know, I have to love what in the place that I'm working. You know, I have to love what I'm doing, and I feel like if I can still connect with other residents, regular residents, and I mean, I feel like that's one of the best things about Second Life.
Yeah. And so you don't use an alt to go out and engage like that. You
No, no, I'm just me.
That's cool.
And yeah, and
Hmm.
you know, I have some people that message me like, I love your brand so much, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like thankful and appreciative, and like, thank you so much. And it's like, I feel like it's good for people to like regular residents to see
Mm-hmm.
creators out. Like we are the same. We're the same. There's no difference between us and them.
Mm-hmm. So did your love of DJ sets inspire you to create dances? Because You got a lot of fun dances.
Oh yes,
And they're so
absolutely.
unique, right? Like
Are they?
from
Thank
buying
you.
dances in different places for different reasons, right? There's some dances that are just so either they're like they're just very specific for what you're doing, like in general, the other dances, right? But then you have
Yeah.
yours, and like they're good anywhere and everywhere, and you've got
Yeah, they're
ones
kind
that,
of like just fun.
yeah, these super, you have like different levels of quirkiness to them. So like I've made a whole dance HUDs from your
I've
animations,
seen
your
that.
dance.
Yeah, I've seen some of your
Mhm.
videos. They're
Yep.
so cute.
Yep.
I love them
And
all.
so I just, that's all I ever buy anymore. Like I've even moved away from, other dance makers because I just want to do your moves. So they're just so fun. And it's,
funny.
I love when I'm at a
Yeah.
club and I'm like, that's oh my, that's oh my, that's oh my. And it's like, I love seeing it.
Yeah. I think it's awesome because I mean, I up until like, relatively recently I just started making dances and I like made them for myself, but I just thought, man, I don't know if there's I don't know if people want to do these nerdy dances and like these crazy dances because you get so used to the culture of Second Life, like where you have these like you're dancing like Magic Mike and stuff like that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know if people would want that, right? Like
Right.
what I make. So I just kind of made them for myself and friends and stuff like that. And then people are like, no, these are really good. Like you need to sell
Yeah.
these. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well,
But yeah, it just comes right out of my imagination.
And Adelia in the chat is calling out the couples HUDs, which I would agree with her 100,000%. Like the couples HUDs, like I have seen those so much more, like especially as you've released more and more of them, and just people going to club events or taking in live music and just rocking out to it in one of your couples HUDs. And it just
Oh, I love that.
is so, I don't know, it just, for me, and just seeing other people, like Couture and I use them, but even seeing others
Yeah.
do the same, it lends more of a realism to the whole experience, and just
Yeah.
that closeness, among individuals, which is to me, it just takes it to a whole nother level.
And
Oh,
I've
I
got to say,
appreciate that. Thank you.
from a technical perspective, the way that you resolved having avatars line up for them is pretty clever.
Thank you.
Because that has always been the challenge if you don't have pose balls, how to get
Yeah,
them to
or
line up.
RLV, right? Like sometimes
Yeah,
you
or-
can
yeah.
accomplish that with RLV, but not everybody wants RLV. But yeah, it's definitely it was a hurdle for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
that
funny. We know
solution
how to
looks
line
cool.
up. So whenever it's time to use one of your
You're like
HUDs, we're like,
pros.
line up, assume the position. It's
Assume the
time for an
position.
oh my HUD. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We're
That's
pretty good at
adorable.
lining
I
it up
love
now. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
You're
Yes,
HUDing
you are.
pros. Who's the HUDder though? That's
He
my
is.
question.
He is.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like usually the other way around.
No,
Most guys are
that's-
just like, I'm not doing the HUD.
No, that's his
Oh, no.
dominance coming out. Yeah.
I like
He's like,
to use
I'm in control.
Exactly. Most wouldn't like assume that of him, but he's like that nice guy that's like, listen to me, that kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I just gotta pull her leash, and she.
Yep.
She gets, yeah. And
Yeah.
She's gets surprised by it. Always.
Because,
pleasantly so.
I
I'm
tell
glad you
him, I was
guys
like,
love
I
the HUD
got
so
you.
much.
I got the HUDs. I got it. He's like, no, I'll do it. I'm like, okay. He wants to be
Taking
in
pride
control. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Consider yourself like one of the very few tour, because not many men, they're just sort of like, you know what? It's okay. I'm dumb, but you can do the HUD.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. I know. I think I don't know. People.
He's unique
people
like
engage
that.
with things differently.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but yeah, I mean, it's even ritualistically part of our sign off.
Oh, she
whenever
knows.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Consuela told me, yeah. I was
I've
like,
told her
"That
more
is
than once,
amazing. That's
and then
so
I send her
sweet."
pictures.
I
yeah.
love I hear a lot of stories like that. Like people will be like, thank you, you forever changed my second life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Wow. Like, yeah, because if you like OMY is part of like what made me and my partner closer, or it really felt like we were connecting each other. And I'm like completely shocked. Like anytime you hear something like that, I'm like, wow, that makes me feel really good. Like I feel like I'm really proud to be a part of that in some like small way, shape, or form.
Well, it goes to kind of what you were saying about how, the human body and movement. Let me hold on just a moment. Okay, I want to dial it back even further. Sometimes I do this where I try to ravel a thought. So early on, you mentioned how you were frustrated by building a particular look, an aesthetic, a presentation of yourself, and the movements were not matching your vibe. And that's why you created OMY. And, underscoring that is the idea that movement is 100% a form of expression. It is, it is definitely a way of conveying mood and emotion and atmosphere in ways that you can get pretty far with just aesthetics, with your clothing, with your avatar shape and all, skin and all that, but the movement also is a big part of that. And it definitely can and does elevate your ability to personally express yourself, both for your own sake and like with others. So I can definitely see how that can be perceived as fundamentally changing someone's SL.
And especially like in Second Life where you don't have like the face-to-face
Right.
human contact with somebody. So
Yeah.
if you're, and you sometimes you're not even hanging out, like you're just checking out avatars, kind of scoping the area or whatever, and you almost can get like a feeling about somebody or like how their avatar looks and how their body language is. And sometimes that will even encourage you to like message them like I love that. I love how you look. I love that whole like thing you have going on with your avatar. So I think like body language, even in Second Life, when you don't physically have a human body, it's even more important. And yeah, so for me, it was like definitely missing.
Yeah. So I want to drill a little bit into your first life, just a touch, a dab, a sample.
Nothing too intrusive.
Nothing too intrusive. It's not a.
You don't need my passport
Spotlight
number.
interrogation.
Okay. Whew.
So, yeah. So just starting off the top, loosely, whereabouts are you from?
I'm from just outside Toronto, Canada.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, way up
Canada's
here.
lovely.
It's lovely.
Yeah. It's is
Getting
there
cold here now, though.
It's nice
Is
though,
it
right?
cold
Do you
for
like
me?
the cold?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not a fan of the cold, which is like shocking to a lot of Americans because they're like, "Why? You're Canadian. You're supposed to love the cold." No, we all just stay inside and hibernate, and we only go outside unless it's absolutely required. When I was a child, of course, I loved the snow and everything, but as an adult, it's not fun adulting, having to dig your car out and ice driveways and walkways and things like that. But I like spring and fall here, like the seasons. Summer is a little bit too muggy, but winter is just horrible. I fly away
Too
somewhere
muggy.
nice and hot.
too muggy?
Yeah, we have a lake effect here, so we have like a lot of the Great Lakes around here. So when it, in the summer during heat waves and stuff like that, we get a lot of like lake effects and a lot of like moisture and like it's just really yucky. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, I'm making a face right now because I live in Florida.
Oh yeah, so it's like always muggy there. It's always hot. You wouldn't survive one single Canadian winter, I'm sure, Tor.
I would love it actually. I
Oh my
thrive in
goodness.
colder environments.
Yeah.
I was born in the wrong place.
Until it's like minus 20.
I want to be in the
Celsius.
cold. I'm in Southern California, and it's just dry and hot.
Yes.
Oh
So,
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the full seasonal effect. I see it all.
That sounds
leaves
lovely
falling.
to me.
It's lovely until,
It's not.
it's your daily life. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
The grass is always greener, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The grass is always green here.
And it's brown here, so you know.
The
Yeah.
grass is always white here.
There you go. All right. We got the
We've
grass
covered the grasses. Okay, next.
So you mentioned that you've always drawn and sculpted in First Life. Do you have any other like hobbies or interests that you dabble in?
In real life,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, love doing a lot of the stuff that I love doing in Second Life. So I love like live music events. Like I'm a huge concert goer.
Any standout concerts you've been to?
The most recent one I went to is Taylor Swift Eras Tour, which
Oh,
was
Ooh.
awesome. Yeah, she was awesome. I was able to win tickets, so that was fun. That was the last
envious.
concert I went to.
Nice.
But yeah, I love like live events, music festivals. I love shopping. I love to travel. I've been trying to do a little bit more of that in the past couple of years.
Any
Like
standout destinations?
in February, was it February? No, it was April. My family and I went to Europe, so we went to Italy and Greece and Turkey, which
Oh,
was really, really nice, beautiful. It was such a culture shock, but it was really nice. I think it was so interesting to see how like the rest of the world, does life. So,
yeah.
and the
Those are
history, like I'm a huge like nerd for like history and culture and
yes.
things like that. Like I ate it all up. I remember I was climbing the Acropolis in Greece, and
Oh my gosh.
we were all like, it was a bunch of us, and we were all like, it was kind of windy, and it's really windy up there, and it was kind of like a overcast kind of day, and I was so excited. I was just like, oh my God, like looking around everywhere, and it's kind of at the top of it, it's like a rocky, uneven surface, and I
Yeah.
was just like barreling forward like a kid in a candy store, pointing at everything, like, oh, you know what that is? You know what that is? And I completely fell and ate shit. Excuse my language. But
Aw.
I fell, and I was like, all the stuff in my hands were everywhere, and everybody came running to help me, and I was like, I'm good, but look over there. So my family always joke now. They're like, remember that time you ate shit at the Acropolis? I'm like, shut up. But yeah, like traveling and stuff like that, I absolutely love doing, and yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I'm kind of envious.
You have to
you
go.
You and
You have to
Consuela
go.
both had a Europe trip this
Yes,
year.
yes, I did.
I
Yeah.
haven't had
really?
a Europe trip.
Oh, where did you go?
Yeah,
Consuela?
I went to Dublin, London, and
Oh.
Berlin.
I haven't been to any of those places, but I hear they're gorgeous.
It was,
How was it? Did you like it?
amazing. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
been to Europe before. The furthest I've been out of the continental United States is Puerto Rico, which is a territory. It's not another country. Some people get a little confused. I've been to Hawaii. That's a state. And then I've been to Canada, but it was Vancouver. And I've been to Mexico. So
Nice.
Europe was the furthest, and I had been wanting to go as long as I can remember. So
Yeah, it
it
was
was
the furthest for
really
me,
crazy.
too.
Yeah, it was a dream come true. I just enjoyed it from start to finish. The trip could not have been more smooth. And I was always worried about that because it was a longer kind of trip. We carved out a fair amount
the
of
flight
time.
there is pretty wild too.
Yeah.
The flying there is really long.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be a short trip, and you're making that kind of
Yeah.
effort to get to Europe, we're taking it slow, right? So we were gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We spent a week in each place. So I just enjoyed, that was the perfect amount of time to really kind of drink it in and, have a slower pace and really savor it. So
Yeah, you really need that there, and you don't. And it's like, how often are you going to be in those places? So it's like, you know what, make the time.
Yep. And I look forward to going to Europe again. We're hoping to do like Spain, Portugal, France on the next pass whenever that happens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as your artistic endeavors, do you have any like education background in it, or is it all just self-taught and something that you just kind of picked up as your history of, or your family history of artistry?
So like most of the family history that I have with like art is all like in the real world. Like so my uncle is an artist and has a gallery and my mom's a sculptor and things like that. So they don't really venture off into the digital realm. I think I'm like one of the first in my generation to kind of take a different route in terms of creativity in that way.
Mhm.
But they know like that I do stuff online and they're like, "How? What is that? How does that even work?" Like they're to them it's like another foreign world.
Blender, isn't
But
that for smoothies?
yeah, right. They have no idea. My mother explains it. She says, "Oh, she makes the skeletons move." And she's trying to explain this to friends, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I confuse all my friends. Like, I don't know what you do." I'm like, "I don't make the
Oh.
skeletons move," but she sees like my blender, and she doesn't. She's like, "I don't understand. This is just too much for me." But yeah, um, so I didn't really have like any like traditional teaching of Blender or anything like that. Like I said before, I kind of like dabbled in it here and there, and uh, but never like a project from like start to finish. So it's not something like I set out to do something and created something. It was just kind of like messing around and like checking things out, like people that casually play in Photoshop, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, like I had a general understanding. I thought I did at least because Blender is insane. But in terms of like animations, it was all self-taught.
Okay.
And yeah, it was pretty intense because I'm sure there might be some people that are listening right now that have like wondered about animation or they've kind of done like a search and they're like, I don't even know where to look. And it's because the information that's out there is either 15 years old
Mhm.
or entirely inaccurate. And that's what you get to choose from. So for me, like when I was learning and like figuring out like animation in general, I had to watch like so many tutorials and like comb through threads and like
Mhm.
read blogs and like do all these things for years to you know absorb what I was seeing or watching and then like racing the blender and like implementing that and realizing that it doesn't work in Second Life, right? Like it's not going to happen. It's just like game
Right.
design. You can design a game, but it's not going to work in Second Life. You kind of have to rework everything. So, it was a lot of it was like back to the drawing board. Okay, that doesn't work. Back to the drawing board and like forget
Hmm.
everything you just read for the past 3 hours and start all over. So I really had to develop my own way of working.
Mhm.
And I didn't, starting off, I didn't know anybody that made animations. I didn't know a single creator, I had uh, no one to sort of like guide me or point me in a direction that would be best. So a lot of it was just trial and error. And I'm telling you, there was so many nights where I would be like, my blender crashes and I'm, I'm crashing and I'm crying and I'm like, why doesn't this work? I tried, I did everything. And,
No.
it's like getting back on the horse and it's like, okay, let's
Mhm.
rewind it. Let's figure out what happened and like just reworking everything.
Well, to me,
So
what's
yeah,
interesting
100% taught.
Yeah, what's interesting is to hear your like origin story of rage quitting within like an hour, and then if to where you're telling stories about how the struggle with Blender, and I'm waiting for you to say that you almost rage quit again, but no, you
I
didn't.
did. I mean, I totally did. I rage quit every single night, but I came back the next day.
And is it? I guess I'm wondering,
So,
is it because it's the artist in you that you're
yeah,
creating, so it's that
yeah,
desire to
absolutely.
create that kept bringing you back?
And it's the desire for knowledge. Like this is not impossible. I am just lacking in the skills to comprehend this or figure
Yeah.
this out. This is not like people do this, so I can do this, so I have to figure it out. So it was like that constant drive that was pushing me. It was like, you know what, it's fine. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna waste weeks of work that you thought would be fine, and you would upload to Second Life, and so I think it's like I had to learn how to give myself grace, and to understand
Yeah.
that I was learning and that there was no right or wrong way. I just had to figure out my way. And I had to, like, when you're first starting out too, you have all these ideas, at least for me, I had all these ideas that I wanted to do and like I could envision it. and then I just didn't have the skill set to create it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had all these like ideas floating around in my head. I just didn't have like the knowledge, software knowledge, or the capacity to create that, and that was like a big like a big discourager for me. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, why can't I create this? It's like you see people doing it, it looks so easy, and then it's so hard, and it's just because you're just lacking the skill. But all
Mm-hmm.
that can be learned, right? You just have to kind of like ride out the bad times,
Yeah.
and if you're focused on learning something, you'll learn it. It just takes time.
So how does that process compare to your first life process of creating? Like, is part of the struggle that it came easier to you in first life creation, and then second life creation wasn't as easy? Was that part of the frustration, or?
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Because my hands are my tools in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can, get messy and try different paints, and I could sculpt, and I can manipulate my hands because it was just brain to hands, right? But when
Yes.
you're digitally creating, it has to go brain to hand to program, and then that has to, so there's like all these different pathways that you need to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like think of something and then press a couple buttons and it just magically happens. Like, I wish that was the case, but it's unfortunately not. We have to have these tools, right,
Mm-hmm.
that create, that are like our extensions of ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, that was like, yeah, definitely one of the bigger battles is like I have to learn how to use my digital hands,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah. So in terms of creation, then I wanted to go back to a comment in the chat from Nova. She had made it, I don't assume because I can't see the icon, but they made a comment about like furniture poses and things, and that kind of, this is me in a random tangent getting back to your pose making, is I know when we first sat down we were all excited that you had put your own sitting animations in Chairs from Black Nest. And so I know then you reminded me that you make a sitting set that's in the other room with the AO add-ons, but there's only one sitting set there to my knowledge, is that correct?
Yeah,
Or are you
yeah.
making
I would
are you
love to
making
make
more?
I would love to make more of everything if I could. But I have, I'm just one person. I like
Yeah.
behind OMY, I'm the one that does all the animating. So it's like I wish that I had a whole team of animators. But I think if I did, I'd probably micromanage them. So they wouldn't like me so much. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do more of everything, running and jumping and dancing and more HUDs and more AOs and like, more accessories. I wish I could do it all. And like, eventually want to be able to
Yeah.
feel like my store is complete, but I'm not sure I ever will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I definitely want to do more sits.
interestingly enough, Nova was also saying that we all have been using the same bed poses for the last 21 years in Second Life. And that kind of then leads me into your newest one, which is the Crave HUD.
Yes.
Like some of those definitely remind
Wow.
me of some of the beds out there. So I don't know. I see a connection. I see possibilities, but you're the one that has to do all the work of it. So, and as you said, you're only
Yeah.
one person, but do you get a lot of requests like from your client, your fan base? Please
I
make
do.
furniture
I just-
animations.
I do to some degree. I have in my Discord like suggestions and ideas. So I encourage people to kind of put any ideas they have in there, and I always look at them. Like I'm always looking at my Discord. But so I mean, suggestions are always welcome. Yeah, I mean, Veronica, who's the owner and creator of
Puddles, yeah.
brand, yeah, she's also my blogger manager, and I remember showing her like the whips of like showing in our admin channel, showing the whips of all the animations, and she's like, "Girl, if you ever need some furniture, like,
Yeah.
you and I need to collab. We
Yeah.
need to figure this out." And I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, we need to do that." So I mean, that's definitely like on the agenda eventually, like to have
Nice.
like a complete release. Like a lot of furniture places, they focus on the mesh and they focus on whatever, but then they kind of like use the same
They make
animations.
you with the same animation.
Yeah. And it's a shame because, I mean, yeah, animating is hard and there isn't a lot out there for furniture creators to like source from.
Right.
But it would be really great to make some like custom animations that are like, full facial animations and things like that for like a new project. So I think that's definitely on the agenda. How soon?
Nice.
I don't know, because my lord, there's so much stuff to do and not enough hands.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course.
And there was
But yeah,
another
it's something we
question
definitely want to do.
about tutorials. Do you on your Discord server? Do you do any tutorials or?
I don't normally, and not because I want to gatekeep or anything like that, but I feel like I'm not a very good teacher. You know, some people are great at teaching, and you know, Wolf has like sat in on some of my like I've streamed for him and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I don't even know what you're doing. You're going way too fast. Like, how did you just do all that?" And I'm like, I don't know how to rewind to show you that. Like, I'm not really good at teaching. I'm more good at doing. So,
That's valid.
yeah, so I mean, I think if I ever did like a tutorial, I would spend like so much time trying to explain what I'm doing, and then people wouldn't really understand. And because I'm self-taught, I'm really like worried about teaching the wrong thing to somebody, you know, and it's not technically like the right way to do it, but it's just how I do it, you know, and I don't want to like mislead or direct people. So yeah, I don't know if that will ever be something I do, but it's definitely something I've thought about.
Yeah. And you mentioned Wolf. So are we allowed to talk about Wolf? Or I know he
Yes.
wasn't. Okay. So I've always seen you and Wolf as the pair behind OMY. So can you
Yes.
explain a little bit more about Wolf and his role and just tell us a little bit more about Wolf?
So Wolf is like my, you know, my go-to kind of guy. He's amazing. He's like the first person that I like run all of my stuff by, and he's like, no, I don't like that. That's not gonna work. And he's honest, right? And sometimes you need people in your corner that are like, no, that's not that. Don't change this. Reword this. You know, I don't like how this is. Can you make, you know? So he kind of like is like my soundboard.
That's
And
important.
he is very important.
Yes.
And he like organizes all of OMY. So he dabbles in like bloggers, he helps organize events, and he handles customers, and you know, he's like my soundboard in terms of like for OMY, and my partner in crime. And yeah, I adore him. He's the best.
Awesome.
I think I don't know if I mentioned, I have a CSR, Fox Mulder, who is like, he just recently, probably over the past like 6 months or so, he took on like a customer service role
nice.
with OMY, and he's loving it. Like, he's a very socially kind of butterfly person, but at the same time not. But he loves talking to like meeting new people and talking to people, and he's like one of the nicest people you could ever possibly imagine. And you know, I said I was kind of getting overwhelmed because it's hard to balance everything, right? When you start to like have more demand. When I first started, I was doing everything. So I was doing blogger text, I was managing, I was handling setup events, I was doing like you know, everything. And then as the demand got higher, I couldn't do all that. So I had to find people that I trusted that would care about my brand as much as I did, and I have like the best people. So like Veronica, I've known for 7-8 years in Second Life. She's amazing. She's so creative, and she's awesome. And she has, you know, Puddles, and she also owns the Breathe Spa. And Mulder, Fox Mulder, he kind of is just like a man of all trades, and he's social and loves helping people. And then Wolf, who does basically everything else and records too. I've been told he records too.
You've been told.
All of our videos. Yes, he's like chirping in my ear saying, I record too. But yeah, he does all the recording for our videos and
I
stuff like
love
that, like
your
all
videos.
of our major videos.
I have to give
Yeah,
big kudos to Wolf, because every time I watch one of the commercials, you know, little movies of the HUDs, the storytelling in it is so amazing. Like, I feel like I'm watching like a little movie. It's not really an ad, it's a little movie. And I remember there's been more than one that like bring a tear to my eye, because they're just
the wedding one is like that for us. I think I even cried. Yeah.
That it's just like,
so
it's
we kind of like
evocative. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
He does amazing work.
Thank you. Him and I kind of like vibe on what we want to, like the story we want to tell. And we kind of like bounce ideas, like maybe this is good, and like no, okay, and then we kind of get a sense of what we want, or like how we want to start filming and the scenes we want to, um, film. And then he does all the filming, and then we kind of go through everything and make sure we got all the angles we want, and then I take all that and like edit it all and kind of make it whatever. But we have an idea of like what we want during, and then sometimes things come to us like as is. I'm like, oh, we should get a shot of this, and like there was we had like these little birds that would show up in the video a lot, and a couple other like older videos, and I was like, we should bring those birds back. That would be so cute to see them like in this new, and it, like so things like that. It just kind of makes it really fun.
The wedding one. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, but the wedding one, it was the one where it ended with the old couple, right?
Yeah, how cute, right?
That was, I wasn't expecting that, and then when that happened,
I know.
I was like, oh my gosh, I was just verklempt. I was verklempt. Yeah.
Well, I was too when we were like filming it. I was like, we need to find like a really good emotional way to close the video.
Oh, you nailed it.
Ending a video just after like HUD animations.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like an incomplete story. So like, let's figure out how we can still like wrap this up and make it feel like in a nice tiny little bow and tell a story. And I was like, that is like so sweet. Like we had originally played with the idea like one is dead and the other one's at the graveyard. No, that's too dark. Too dark. Yeah, so we're like, no, I think it'd be really cute for them to be old and kind of admiring them as young and still being in love. So, yeah.
No, and
we love that one too.
Unicorn in the chat is calling out Machinima rocks. Absolutely. Like your basically your movies, your machinima for the HUDs is just really on point. I love watching them, and I don't know what to expect now when I start hitting play, because they could take a turn and I could just be caught off guard, and that's what's fun. It's like they're not predictable. Like I know you made a HUD, right? But there's a story, and I just get so sucked in, and I was like, where is this going? What's going to happen next? And it's just a little piece of machinima, just highlighting your amazing animations, and it's just so, I enjoy the multifacetedness of those a lot.
And I think too, like with animations, that's what it's all about, is about emotion, right? So if I can, and that's basically what animations are. You're selling emotion, you're selling a vibe, a movement, in essence, like I'm not selling, most of the stuff that I make, it doesn't come with a HUD there. You get like a texture changer. So I have to sell part of it, like animations, I have to sell you the emotion, right? And as humans, we're like living, breathing, walking emotional meat bags. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like that this is part of my job, is like I need to convey how I was feeling, or the emotion that I was feeling creating this, and I want people to feel that. And if I just like, an ad doesn't do animation justices or anything like that, and it's just a still shot. So the videos were and are still really important to us to sort of like capture the moments, because I mean every single person in Second Life has their own story and their own history, and like like you and Tor meeting, and you have your own history together, and there's certain things that are really meaningful to the both of you. So for us, with all of our videos, is we really want to capture those moments and like make it feel like it's very relatable.
You've definitely succeeded at that.
Yay.
I love that you create art on so many levels, from your first life art that you do, to the animations, to the machinima related to those animations. It's just, I love all of it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing I kind of was curious about is, you've mentioned how you've always kind of had a relationship with body language, with the human body and such. And you've mentioned, you also mentioned how translating your first life conceptions into Second Life has, sometimes has technical challenges and such. But I'm also curious, has creating movement and being free of many of the limitations here in Second Life altered the way that you kind of perceive and interpret and even appreciate body language in First Life, in your day-to-day?
For me, I've always been like hyper aware of movement. I think just like liking in like being a painter and sculptor
Mhm.
outside like in real life, and like you have to kind of pay attention to all the little details. I think that kind of like transcended over into Second Life. So um yeah, I feel like it was easier, and I think I am a little bit more hyper aware now creating like digital movement. It's like if I'm watching a movie, or if I'm like out at the mall and walking and just seeing somebody's posture, I'm like, I really like that, or I like how this person's walking, or I like the whole, like, I don't know this person, but I really like this, and then I'll like run to Blender and try and capture that. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. I feel like um, I've been able to sort of notice it a lot more in my real life and try and bring it over to Second Life. But I mean, like, yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I have a weird image in my head of Shellina at the mall, like secretly recording people.
No, I mean, that's a little bit creepy. That's creepy.
Just because I can imagine like you're observing a movement you like, but and then like committing it to memory so that you can go home and work it out on Blender. That's a lot. To me, I would
And
just
it
whip out the
doesn't
camera.
And it doesn't, like, sometimes I start in Blender and I'll start with something and I'm like, yeah, this is it. And then an hour later working on something, I'm like, okay, that looked totally different, but I still like it, you know? So sometimes you might start with a vision and then it kind of takes a different path and you're like, this is not at all what I intended, but I really love this, you know? So it's like happy mistakes.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you find that you sometimes, or do you sometimes do like a sketch or something to try and do workshop something before diving into Blender?
no, not really, because sketches are very like it's like static pose for me.
Well,
It's
yeah.
very like yeah. So for me, what helps is I have a mirror in my office,
Oh,
and if I'm like stuck on a movement, I'll like look in the mirror. Okay, that doesn't look right. It has to kind of look like this, and then I'll be like moving my hands around and my legs around, and I can't even tell you how many times I've been in the middle of a dance and I'm like, this doesn't look right, and then I'll just stand up and start dancing, and I'm like, okay, that's what I need to do, and I'll sit back down. I'm like, okay, that's why the movement wasn't like natural and it wasn't working. So I was like, okay. So I mean, having that sort of reference is definitely good for me. And yeah, most of the time it's just like me moving my body or whatever.
so in some ways, your physical exertions in First Life are puppeteering thousands of us here in Second Life. That's fun
Absolutely.
to think about.
It was funny. A friend of mine, Tina, she said to me one time not too long ago, she's like, I want to tell you that I sometimes do OMY dances like in real life. And I was like, girl, that's where I do them. That's how they got here. And she's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yeah, half the time if I like in the middle of the winter and I'm letting my dogs out in the backyard to do their thing and it's freezing and I'm like cold dancing. I'm like, "Brrr," hurry, 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 come back inside. And I'm like doing a little dance. I'm like, that's cute, actually. And then I'll like run to Blender. I'm like, I really like that. That's pretty adorable. And then it becomes a dance. So it's
Yes.
like people don't know that they're actually doing my little kitchen dances and stuff like
funny.
that.
I love that.
Awesome. So, I mean, that kind of answers something that I was going to ask about, which is if you created them kind of in more of a void, I think that a lot of them might end up feeling more staged, which is kind of a vibe that I get from, like, not trying to throw shade at other animators, but a lot of animations do feel very stilted. Like they do the motion that they are describing, but there's yours do have a more natural quality to them, I will say. And the fact that their foundation is in many cases you in a mirror, it kind of explains that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
very
I
cool.
think too. It's just like the why some animators may struggle. It's just I think having a good sense of how the body moves has benefited me to
Yeah.
creating like natural and realistic movements. Some people, it's like if you have like just a natural knack for something, you're going to be great at it and it's going to feel effortless. So for me, it kind of feels normal. It would feel weird to put something that felt artificial out. I'd be like, this isn't good.
Mm,
Um, and then some people are just taught, like it doesn't something, it's not something that resonates with them or they think about, you know what I mean?
definitely.
So
Hmm.
for me, it's like yeah, I can go and create toony animations or all that sort of stuff, but I mean, I feel like that there's already like an abundance of that, and they're fun and creative and cool and whatever, but I feel like I get more personal pleasure from creating something from literally nothing, with like just setting keyframes and going second by second and seeing how everything moves and flows, and then kind of stepping back and going, okay, now it's complete, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, part of me wanted to think that you like put the suit on with the balls on it and stuff and did the movements.
The mocap?
Yeah.
No. I was thinking about getting a mocap suit, and I've kind of played around with mocap, and it's fun. It's great, but I like the sort of like in depth. I feel like I get more control and more
Mm-hmm.
natural. Like I can control all of the bones. Like with
Mm-hmm.
mocap, you just have, you know, balls stuck on you, and it kind of generates a whatever. And it's very realistic, but um, I don't know. For me, and maybe that might be a route that I go down later on, but or like mess around with. But I think the brunt of the work will just be like, you know, keyframe by keyframe sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Well, it goes back to what your mom said, right? That you move the bones, the skeleton, right?
Yeah,
That's basically what you're
yeah.
doing. Yeah.
I just making the
So
skeleton dance.
Yeah.
I love that description.
Bless her.
Oh my gosh. Um, so, I want to talk a little bit about collaborations because those, I'm sure, you've done a few of those, and uh, I'm curious, how does that kind of change your workflow? Because you did mention that a lot of your work is you know you trying to create a vibe. So do you, if you're trying to create off of kind of someone else's vibe or fulfill animations for something they've created, do you find any struggle with that process or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to work on collabs with other creators, and I love doing them,
Mm-hmm.
but I've kind of developed my own workflow throughout the years, and I generally like to work like, you know, 2 weeks in advance, and I feel like I can better manage my real life and my second life, and I don't feel so swamped or overwhelmed or burnt out or anything like that. So I generally like to have my work completed prior, you know, maybe just like finishing ads and, you know, event setup and things like that, which doesn't take very long, but like the actual brunt work of it to be done. Um, and that's not always the case for other creators, right? There's a lot of creators that work up until the event day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the event
Mm-hmm.
day that we don't know, that you guys don't know, is that it's literally packed full of designers and creators that are just, you know, just finishing the ad. And it's like, oh my God, like, how do you work like that? No wonder it's so last minute, right? And I personally can't work like that. It makes me feel like
Anxious.
yeah, it just kind of
Yeah.
makes me feel anxious, and I hate feeling like that. I have
I
to feel
know
like
that
really
feeling
confident,
very
like
much. Yeah.
I know, right? Like, so I mean, that's one of the major reasons why I don't typically, I'm not like jumping on like collaborations with other brands. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that being said, you get to meet and like learn a lot from other creators,
Mm-hmm.
different ways of working, different techniques, shortcuts, things like that. You get to build a lot of great friendships. I mean, some of
Mm-hmm.
the greatest friends that I have now are people that I've collaborated with, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I otherwise wouldn't have developed any sort of like, you know, relationship with. So there is benefits to doing that and networking and things like that. And then sometimes you'll meet a creator who has the same work ethic as you and the same workflow as you, and you're just
I
like,
love it.
ah, like amazing, like it's like the gates have opened and the angels have descending from heaven. You're like, where have you been all my life, And you're
Yeah.
just like right on the same vibe. And like Veronica is like one of them where I'll like pitch an idea to her. I'm like, hey, what about this? Because I'm not great at meshing. I can mesh, but I'm not great at it. And then
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I love that. And then literally like an hour later, she's sending me like screenshots of her blender. And I'm like, girl, what? Like she's, she's committed. She's right in it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, like people like that, I love working with, because when they're in it and they don't mess around. They're not gonna wait around, and they would rather have like a rough copy done and then a really polished version at the end and have everything done. And she's very much like that. So I tend to like collaborate with her a lot, and she's always just so fun, and she's great.
So, on the subject of collaborations, I don't know if you saw our last interview. It was with Lucas Lameth, who makes food. He
Oh, yes.
he was very interested in the possibility of collaborating with you. So, as far as
really?
in general, yes, in
But he's
general,
also super shy.
yes.
Aw,
So,
he's so sweet.
if another designer was interested in collaborating with you, how would they go about like approaching you for something like that?
I mean, the same way you would anybody, like, hey, how's it going? I love your stuff. We should collaborate.
Okay.
The thing about creators, which is really funny, is like when we meet each other and we don't know each other, we're like, oh my God, I love your stuff. And you're like, oh my God, I love your stuff too. And then like, it feels like the second next thing is like, we should collab. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's collab. And then you never hear from them ever again.
Oh.
Right. So it's like, cause we all get so busy, right?
Yeah.
It's not that we don't have the intention, or it's just something to say. It's just you get so busy in your own work that that is like you want to do that. Like I said, I would love to make more sitting poses, and I would love to do all this sort of stuff. It's like I just don't have the human capability of doing that. So I mean, I would love to be able to work with all these creators that I absolutely adore, and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just depends, right? And I mean, I love all of Lucas' stuff. He's so creative. I kind of like sat in on a little bit of it, so I didn't hear the part where he wanted to collab with me. But that was
you
real
were
sweet.
mentioned
He's a sweetheart.
specifically by name.
Aw,
Yeah.
what a sweetheart.
Well,
So-
and from his perspective, I totally understand it, because there are a very limited number of eating animations out there.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, or you're eating and your arm is like way above your head.
Oh,
Jam
that's
that
It's like,
straight into
it's
your
kind of
eyeball.
a
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen our older videos where it's like, oh, time for me to drink. Let me shove this straw through my forehead. All right. Or that's how I'm having my sandwich. Let me shove it through the bridge of my nose.
Yum yum yum. This is delicious.
And it's just a Second Life thing that Tour and I crack up
Yeah.
about. But when we're
Yeah,
talking
you've
with
got to laugh
Lucas
about
and
it.
he mentioned you, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So,
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there, and
Yeah, I mean, just if any creator like is interested, like, and wants, I mean, I don't really have like a preference. Like I've collaborated with like newbie designers before, and if it's like if I feel like we could work well together and we both have something that would be fun. It's not about like, oh, you're not you don't have a big enough following, or you're not
Yeah.
in this event or that event or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just about like, I don't want to work on something that I'm not passionate about just because somebody's asked me to work on
Yeah.
it and collab. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like something that is not natural for me, or something that I'm not excited about doing. I don't want to do it just because this person wants animations.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's got to be something that I really enjoy, and that I feel like my customer base would also really enjoy, right? Like I'm not going to make things that I think are great for other people. But I mean, I don't advertise that I do custom work or anything like that, and I don't. Let's be clear.
To be
I have
clear.
people asking me all the time, like, "Do you do custom work?" No. But there is like some creators that want like a more of a custom anime, and if it's something easy for me to do, I have no problems doing stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine, like, that sort of thing. But in terms of like an actual collaboration where OMY is on the ad, it has to be really something that I'm passionate about too. So that's
Right,
just how I
sure.
feel.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
But I know I've appreciated you throwing in like wider poses because, I'm a plus sized avatar.
Yes,
So,
and I've kind
Yeah.
of I've kind of moved over to Reborn. I was really partial to my Legacy, but I've moved over to Reborn now, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Kind of have to do what, and I like it. I like the body and everything.
you look good in it.
Thank you. You look great in it too.
Thanks.
But yeah, I think it's like you have to appeal to the masses, and I want my work to look good on as many people as possible.
Yeah. And I recall,
Yeah.
say what to her? I'm sorry.
Makes a big difference.
It does.
For sure.
It does.
to
I
have
definitely
those
notice it.
different options.
Yeah. And I think one of the early hooks for me into your brand was the eye focus. So when
Really?
yes,
Yeah.
because it was not done. Like it took it to a whole nother level for me.
Yeah, because
And
that way your eyes aren't just like staring off into
Yeah.
space as your head moves.
yeah.
Well, and for me, the eye focus was really important, obviously, for posing the face. But a lot of times when you're making like a pose or an animation, you have to and if you want the avatar to look forward, you have to keep the head forward,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you turn the head, then the avatar is going to be facing in that direction and looking in that direction. But with an eye focus, I was able to sort of like rig the eyes and pose the eyes how I wanted. So if I wanted the avatar's head to turn, but kind of like side eyeing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that kind of like little
So
sassy
good.
side eye, or
Yeah.
like, the head going
good.
back and then looking at the bottom of your eyes. And like that is a whole vibe, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, it was like, I spend almost as much time as I do on the face animations and
Which
eye
I love.
focus than
Yeah.
I do on the whole animation.
Because
So
I-
I think it
yeah.
really sets a tone.
For sure. And it really sets you apart because I feel like
Yeah.
other animators don't necessarily consider the head. It's all about what the body's doing. And so,
Yeah.
they may get, obviously the head may move in accordance with the body, but the fine details of the eyes and the face it wasn't something I'd seen a lot of when I first, really fell in love with your brand. And when your sets come out, I know you have the non eye focus ones in there. I never include them. It's like I have to have my AOs are always built with all the eye focus ones because I
agree, mine too.
I love the thought and the feeling that you've like embedded in your animation with the inclusion of the eye focus and the face animations. Like
I'm glad that you really love that.
Yeah, it's
There's a
that
lot of
storytelling that we were talking about. Like every single pose has a story.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to accomplish, and I'm glad that it's like you're picking that up, and I hope that other people are too. But at first, like I would just do like this static eye and like no animation or anything like that. And then I have like a wide variety of customers. Like it's not all men, it's not all women. I have like little kids avatars, and I have furries, and I have like you name it, they shop at OMY. So not all the faces work well with the eye animation, and it kind of like makes them a little bit weird. So that's why I include like the no option, so people that have different rigged faces,
that makes sense.
They can still enjoy the animation and then not have to, oh my God, my eyes are all over the place because I'm wearing a dragon head or something,
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm glad you shared that because I didn't really understand why you would still include the non-eye focus. I'm like, who would not love the eye focus? And that makes sense.
Like some people, if you look around too, some people really just like a static face, right? They have like a cute little lip bite or whatever, and they don't want their face to move around. They just like want that look, and they've kind of posed their face in that way. So I don't want to like override people's freedom of expression or anything like that.
Yeah.
And giving that like an option to people, and like not everybody has, like mine were all designed on Lilitka heads. And not everybody has a Lilitka head, right? Some people Katwa heads, some people Jenna's heads, and they don't always like look the same.
That's fair.
Like they're designed for so. At least it gives them the option. They really like the animation, like the body animation, but the head is kind of making them look a little bit wonky. They don't need to buy the eye focus.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that perspective because I just couldn't I couldn't figure why, and I was like, well, obviously
Yeah.
somebody wants this, and more. I just didn't understand why, but that really does make a lot of sense, and that's very considerate of you.
I try to think of things like that.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk a little bit about inspirations because you've mentioned a few unusual sources where you get inspirations, and I'm a little curious to dig into that process a bit more, because I feel it's more than just I feel like, especially for sets, it's more than just I see kind of a pose at the mall or in film or something that I think is interesting. You seem to kind of want to create a mood and explore it in like 4 to 5 different animations, or tell a story about a character in that, or certainly with the couples HUDs, convey a lot more even, because you're talking actual body language in interaction. So like, where do you dredge up those sorts of inspirations, and how do you kind of storyboard that to yourself?
Um, so for HUDs, there's a little bit more thought that goes into them because generally I like to have a little bit of a theme happening for HUDs. I feel like it gives it more of a purpose and a direction in terms of animations, and people go, okay, that's not for me, that sort of thing. So I tend to have a little bit more direction and um, have like my thoughts sort of gathered on what I want it to look like or feel like before I even get into Blender. So like, for example, like a friend's HUD, female friend's HUD, I wanted to convey like girlhood and like, feeling like this is your bestie and like, that sort of like vibe. Um, and then just kind of thinking how two girls would hang out together and like, you know, animate together, and then that's where I kind of build from. But and
Do you
like
just
the
conjure that
couple,
all out of thin air from your
typically,
thoughts, or
yeah,
do you? Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
incredible
Typically,
to
it's
me.
I have a very vivid imagination.
Yeah.
And HUDs usually, I'm like stewing on them for a little bit, or I feel like it's something missing in my current like product line, or like customers might request it a lot in like my Discord. Like I want more like girl friend animations and things like that. So I mean, all that kind of gathering all that information, and then all those thoughts and ideas swirling around in my head, and you know I mean, we're surrounded by human movement everywhere, so it's like I am not at a loss for finding inspiration. I can literally turn on a TV and find inspiration. It's abundant. It's just a matter of pulling it all together to make like something cohesive and feel like united. But
Mhm.
so for HUDs, there's a little bit more thought that goes into it with AO stands and things like that. There's less thought. There's still thought, um, but generally, it can depend on like seasonal. It can depend on like the current vibe of like political vibe, or like something that's just blowing up in the box office, or like social events could inspire like AO stands and things like. I mean, it can come from so many different things, and
Mhm.
yeah, there's like it's more of like a collection of scattered thoughts, kind of
Hmm.
put neatly into a package. You can really pull a feeling together with an avatar look. So like
Yeah.
I just by looking at like some of the ads that I do, you can kind of make them all. Um, I don't know. I don't have the vocabulary to describe it, but like you can pull it all into like a cohesive look, and it just feels like it's like a full
Hmm.
package.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of it is just like things that come in my head, and I'm like, okay, this is really. I have a ton of animations that I haven't released that are just sitting in my inventory, just waiting for a home. Like, okay, this would be great for this set, or this would be great for this set, and so it's like, like getting all these little pieces and all these little animations I do, and then like putting them into like a nice little neat package and calling that AO and whatever. But the same goes with like for dances and stuff like that. Like I have so many unreleased dances and things that, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I'm watching TV or whatever, and something just pops in my head, and I'm like scooting my butt up to my computer, and I'm like, I'm gonna try and make this, and then I'll make it, and I'm like, this is great, but I only have one, so I need to like make what 8 more or 5 more or whatever it is, and they take some time, right? So it's like you're almost like, you know, like just cultivating these little bits here and there, and then you pull them into like a neat package. So that's kind of like what it feels like a lot of times, but HUDs are definitely a lot more planned.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting to hear about your inspirations behind the pose sets. I guess the one that stood out to me in particular is that you were saying that some of them were born of like what might be going on in politics. Did you say that?
Everything. So, social events, pop culture, everything.
Huh. Okay. Because it's gonna make me look at them in a different light when I look at your ads and stuff, try to figure out like, okay, what inspired this? Is it the news? Is it pop culture? Is it, you know, because when you put your sets out, there's no like note card or anything saying where they were born from, right? So it's
and a lot of times I don't want to put them in like a rigid little box. I want people to feel however they feel about them, right? Yeah. And that's the beauty of animations. It's like there's no right or wrong way to interpret them. It's just how I've interpreted them.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want to say like this is where it's come, this is why it's inspired by, this is what happened, this is what made me make it. You know, I mean, some people really love that information, but at the same time, I want people to kind of like feel how they feel about things, you know, and then maybe be surprised by how I envisioned it. Yeah. Which is great for having talks like this because, you know, you can really like dive in a little bit deeper. About brands and why they do the things they do. So if I ever want to know sometime, I could just message you, hey, Shellina, what was the story behind this one? I'm really curious. Sometimes they don't have stories, though. Sometimes I have deep stories, and sometimes I have no stories. So, yeah, fair. Absolutely. That's fair. Don't be surprised, though, if I end up in your DMs one day to be like, okay, I really need to know. What was the story behind this one? They all have little stories, yeah.
That makes me curious on 2 things. First of all, like, have you ever like seen someone either in a photo or just out in the wild using your animation or one of your HUD sets in a way that you were like, yes, that is exactly the vibe, like their aesthetic, everything that's going on in this scene is exactly the vibe I was going for. And conversely, have you ever seen it used in a way that you didn't plan for, but you totally vibe with?
I can't say there's like a specific photo that captured that, but I feel like there is some where like photos where I'm like, whoa, we never like all of us at OMY, we never thought of using it like that. That's so super creative, and you're like really shocked by it. So I do get a lot of moments like that. But I don't think there's like a specific photo that's like absolutely yes, this is exactly what I envisioned. Cool. But I do get that feeling in moments. So like when you know, you're out with friends and you're all dancing and you're having the greatest time and you're just doing these silly goofy dances. That's what OMY is. That's what I wanted. Or when you have like a quiet moment with your significant other, or you know, and like in those moments and you're animating and you just feel really connected. That's what I aim for. Or like the moments where you're just by yourself and you're shopping and you're checking out your avatar and you're like, oh my god, damn, I look so good, you know. And it's because you're AO and you're just like, those are the moments that I go for, and I'm like, yes, this is it, this is what I aim for. Yeah, that's when I go, thank you, Shellina, for making my avatar look so good. You're welcome.
Definitely.
And run so well. I get comments on my runs. I usually use the girly one or the frightened one, and I'll just be running around events like that, and it's usually I get people cracking up and asking me about my animation. I'm like, oh my, of course.
Have you guys tried the clumsy bumper?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
so funny.
I was doing it. I wore it briefly as me, and then my mom. My mom and I stream. I don't know if you caught that on some of our.
Yeah.
So at an event, she was wearing the clumsy bumper, and I was walking into her. I was on my budget
all the time.
out the whole
As
time,
often.
swinging a big old lollipop from junk food, and then your bumper
No
made
way.
it. Like my mom thought that your bumper was like the junk food thing, like that was the effect on her avatar, and we had to remind her it's the OMY bumper that you're wearing that is timing
Just
with
works
the
so
swinging
well.
of the lollipop, and they looked meant to go together. Like I'm just knocking
Yeah,
her
it's
avatar
so
down
funny.
every time. It is hilarious.
I remember like when I made that and we all had it on, and like anytime like there's a new release, all of us, like especially Wolf and I, we like were like using the hell out of whatever was just made. So we were just like clumsy bumping everywhere, and
Yep.
like we'd go, get TP somewhere, and then he would be like falling all over the place, and then people were like, I'm so sorry, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like get so many messages of people like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and we're just laughing because it's just hilarious. But people, like they see that and they're like, oh my god, did I just knock that girl over? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. So it's
Well,
just a really, it's like Mulder was saying, like Fox Mulder was saying, this like opens a lot of dialogue up for like
Yeah.
he met so many new people that
Yeah.
were just like messaging him saying like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Or it makes you a target.
It doesn't.
Because that's what
Yeah,
people
or
were
it
doing
makes
to
you
me
target.
when I wore it. It was like again and again and
Yeah.
again. It was more like laughing
Yeah.
as opposed to not
Yeah.
sorry. Like, let me knock you down some more because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it is interesting
I
that
love
it can create that reaction, because a lot of times we just don't even think about it running into. Well, some people can't even think about running into other avatars. I am kind of, I try not to as much as possible.
Same. Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's
having
unavoidable if you're having a pile
is.
of people come in and stuff like that. But it's pretty funny when you see that one avatar
having an
being tossed
actual
around
reaction.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like instead of it, everybody just piling in one space, you have that, like I said, that one avatar that's kind of flipping everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, what is happening over there? And it kind of makes you look and like laugh and have a moment or
Yeah.
message them, oh my god, that's so funny. So like creating
Yeah.
things like that, I think it's just so interactive and fun, and it's just something so silly and stupid. Like I didn't think when I made it that it was going to be that popular, but it was like part of a release, just like a kind of little add-on to it, and then I had it as like a gift for an event, and I wasn't gonna put it in the store or anything, and I had so many requests, like people sending note cards to all of us saying, when's the clumsy bumper gonna be for sale? And I'm like, wow, like people really love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool to see how people respond to things that you didn't think were that impressive. But
I feel like I need a bumper in between that one and the ones that are like aggressive. Like there's ones that like bitch slap or like start cursing at people. I just need one that's a little indignant.
or like start crying, like just weeping uncontrollably.
On my kid Abby, I had one that it's like they would fall down screaming and crying because you ran over the avatar, and it's a bit much, right? And I'm not trying to traumatize
little over the
people.
top.
It's hilarious, but I like I said, I feel like I need one that's just a little indignant. Like really, like that's how I respond, because usually we're in a giant space and someone walks
you're like,
right
"You're
into
walking
you,
into me."
and I'm like, really? And then I have to remind myself, okay, some people are friends only, some people honestly don't give a shit, and they're just gonna barrel through you anyway. But I just
and
want
some people
one that's
lagging, they're just lagging.
that too, right? So I feel like I just need one that's like a hands on hips, like, or arms in the air, like really.
WTF.
Exactly. That's all. That's all. I think that one would make me happy. So, but yeah, I'm
think
not
so,
trying to
too.
slap anybody or kick them across the sim, or the others are a bit aggressive. I'm not trying to do that. But the falling one did make me a target. So I wore it for a time, and then I was like, no, people now are bumping me on purpose.
Purposely, yeah,
And
yeah.
Tournos, that's like one of my big SL pet peeves is don't bump me. Like I know the keystrokes for move lock, right? Because I don't want to be pushed or bumped. Like don't.
Yeah.
And so, but in that case, when you make an animation like that, I have to try it out, at least for
At
a
least
period
play
of
with it
time.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay, so I want to touch a little bit about the future of OMY, because you mentioned a sense of like being done and not really seeing that ever happening. But do you see anything further evolving with OMY and the breadth of things that you create? You mentioned obviously that the HUDs take up more. You've talked a little bit about like making more furniture animation. Are those areas you want to expand in further? What's cooking in the
Well,
world of
there's a
Shellina?
lot. There's a lot cooking. Like I said, I wish I had more hands
Sure.
to do all the things that I want to do. But I do have some like I've had a lot of requests for like face animation,
Oh,
HUDs and things like that. People wanting because they like how I animate faces and they want to be able to have
yes.
like different moods and things like that. So it's something that I think will probably happen in the future. For me, it's it's just as important to have something that works really seamlessly with people's second life as just as important as the animations. So I don't want to just create like really great animations and having an interface that's kind of janky, doesn't work well and doesn't respond well. So for me, it's like ironing out all those little details and like, yeah, sure, I could have put an animation HUD out a long time ago, but I want to really release something that's like chef's kiss, like flawless and
Mhm.
easy to use and something that just like works really well and complements your AO and that sort of thing. So, um, I'm working on something like that probably in the next couple of months or so. So we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
Nice.
I obviously want to get better at animations. I think um, it's a good and good thing to sort of like think in terms of your brand, like you're always the new kid on the block and don't get too comfortable, you know?
Mm,
Hmm.
Um,
that's
so
valid.
don't assume like if you're doing well now, you have to constantly be setting new goals and milestones for yourself and what you see happening. And I think that can be, it's hard for some people to set those goals, but I think you just have to constantly be like thinking outside the box and never really limiting yourself. Um, so for me, it's just like, getting better at what I do and like overall animations and, you know, uh, just like how you were talking about before, Consuela, about the eye focus and facial
Hmm.
animations. That wasn't a thing that I did before, right?
Right.
But it was like something that I kind of felt like a natural evolution.
Hmm.
So I think like getting better at like animating and like polishing my skill set will sort of like naturally lead to an advancement. Um, and then, there's a lot of, I don't have the most updated Blender, but there's a lot of really cool Blender add-ons that I want to try for animation. I don't know the names offhand, but,
Hmm.
um, that can create like different effects. And so, I would like to be able to have some time to kind of like learn and develop some animating skills in that way. But yeah, like in terms of, I mean, I have so many ideas brewing in my head and things that I want to do and things that I want to try. And like, I might need a bigger store. Like, the store's pretty big.
Yeah, it
But
is.
every single time I add more, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I might need a bigger store. I don't know if I can handle a bigger store.
Hmm.
But I mean, like I said before, I don't feel like there's ever an end because I always feel like even if I see people like looking at an old HUD, and I'm sure other creators feel the same way, but like looking at other like stuff that you've done prior, and you're like, I could have done that better. Like,
Mm,
that's not the greatest. I see a problem there. I could have done that better. And you're like your world's worst critic. So
yeah.
I think just like being persistent and really staying focused on improving my skill and not comparing myself to anybody else. I think that's personally what I feel is like the biggest burnout for creators is that they're constantly comparing themselves to other people. And that it might be motivation for some people, but for me, I feel like personally, if I'm constantly checking what other people are doing or where they are in their lane, and then comparing it to where I am and like trying to measure up, I feel like I would be fighting like an endless battle with myself. So for
Right.
me, I feel like it's important to just stay focused on what you want to do, and what it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, right? Like, there's been people in the past that have tried to do HUDs like I have done, or they have tried to do different things. And, some of the people that I work with and some customers are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're trying to copy OMY. It's like, I didn't invent the wheel, right? I didn't make like animations. Like, I'm not the first person to show up. So it's like, it doesn't belong to just me. Um,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
I think like, staying focused on not paying attention to what other people are doing. Let them do their own thing. If they're constantly looking over at you and going, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? They're not keeping their eye on like their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
I think like staying 100% driven and focused on what you want to do and what you love doing, or where you feel your personal strengths and weaknesses are, and like really pushing that. And like I was new too. Like I said earlier, I didn't know a single creator. I had like a handful of friends. I was struggling, and if I can do it, and didn't even know the basic thing about prims or scripting or anything like that, all that stuff had to be taught. So I mean, the anybody can do it. Is you just have to have the motivation, the passion, and the desire and the drive, and like taking the hits, get back up, taking the
Mm-hmm.
hits, get back up. And if you're like constantly looking at what other people are doing or what they're excelling in or what they're whatever, and you're not supporting and celebrating milestones for other people, then you know you're doing something wrong, in my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to.
Uh, oh,
Can I? And I want to butt into
yes.
her quick, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
I know we're
Please.
we're coming up. We're coming a little less than 15 minutes on 2 hours, and I just wanted to make sure I asked a couple of things. Um,
Yep.
the One of the things had to do with your new HUD, the Crave one, because when we were scheduling your interview, you were like, "It's top secret, we can't talk about it," and now it's out,
But it's
and
here.
so
Yeah.
it's
It's
here.
out.
So I want to make sure we give some airtime to Crave and anything you might want to share with us about Crave.
I would
That's YouTube
first
safe.
of all, yes, that's
Yeah.
YouTube safe. So we're not gonna look at all the bits and pieces there.
Yeah.
But there, if anybody's listening that wants to take a look at the new video that we did, it's on our Discord channel under the adult section.
Yeah, not safe for work.
And you can
Definitely
see,
not safe for work. Yeah.
Maybe safe underneath the covers in your bed. But it's our very first adult HUD, so it has all all the bells and whistles for adult animations. Something that was highly requested for years, and I'm talking years. So people like almost when I first made my first HUD, people were like, "Make an adult HUD." And for me, it was like really important to be like a conscientious creator and like do my due diligence. I didn't want to create a HUD that was just fully accessible in general Sims, especially an adult
That's
HUD.
right. Yeah.
So for me, it was like, how do I make this HUD accessible only for like moderate Sims to give a warning and adult Sims to be fully accessible, but like restricted for general Sims? Because I feel like you wouldn't be doing a good job like exposing, you don't know what's out there, and some sim owners don't want to have people having sex in the corner of their beautiful picturesque sim that's meant like moderated general, right? So I wanted to sort of like respect people on in their spaces, and I thought that it was important to sort of like add that protection in there. So it took a little bit of time to develop like something that would add restrictions. Also, I wanted to really make sure that I was able to capture movements really well, like dance, like a HUD where you're just holding each other and that sort of thing is less intricate as more of like an adult HUD. It requires a lot more movement and a lot more things, parts moving and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to make sure first that I was like really happy with the animations. And then this HUD has 10 animations where our normal HUDs normally have 5. This HUD has 10 like full animations, and it comes with men and women and face animations and without. So it was a pretty big release for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I did it justice, and like all those people that were waiting patiently for to like have something out there that was like more adult based for OMY. I wanted to sort of like make them proud, so to speak. So when then especially with the new lewd station, Mia that owns Equal 10, she's an amazing woman, but she was running by the new event that she was creating, Lewd Station, where the HUD is at. She was saying, you know, like, would you want to be a part of it? And I was like, absolutely. And I think I have the perfect thing. And I'm going to do this adulthood. So I kept sending her whips, and she's like, oh my God, this is so hot. This is amazing. So she was like really excited about it too.
Yeah. So what kind of feedback have you gotten on it since its release?
Great feedback. I have like literally some of the best customer base that I could ever even imagine, like ever imagined. And everybody, I feel like most of the people that have purchased this HUD are familiar with the HUD, so they're like pros right out of the gate. They're like, oh yeah, we got this, you know.
But now I'm questioning what kind of pros, Shellina, would they be?
Right? HUD pros, or maybe
HUD pros,
I don't know,
or maybe another kind of pro. But go on.
But yeah, it's I can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, it was definitely getting some really great reviews, and I had a lot of really new customers because some people, I still get a lot of like people that don't even know what OMY is, and they're showing up at the store and they're like, how do I use a HUD? What is this? You know, so I kind of have to explain to them what it is, and they were just brought in from like word of mouth and talking about it or that sort of thing. A lot of times too, I'll have like maybe one of the people in a relationship, like a male or a female, will purchase the HUD, and then the other partner loves it so much and is like, I need to get it too. Like, I want this too. So they'll both buy it, even though you can use it, which is pretty funny. But they're like, I need to have this too. And then I have a lot of people that are like, I don't even have anybody to use this with, but I still want it. And I still bought it. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and she's like, I had to get it. I love it so much. I don't have a person to use this with, but I'm like, well, when you do, you'll be very prepared. She's like, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I have some really great customers.
And I don't know if you, correct me if you answered this earlier, but I don't think you've shared yet how your brand got its name.
Yeah, and a lot of people say it like OMY or OMY, like they don't pronounce it how like I intended it.
That's a great question. I didn't even think to ask.
I get a lot of that. So how it was created, or like what it means?
Why did you decide to call it OMY?
Well, that's the brand name I had when I was designing in Geneva. It was OMY.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a sci-fi junkie, and like I don't really like to tell this too much to people, but I'm like a Star Trekkie.
But what's shameful about that, Shellina?
Nothing shameful about it, but I know it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, it
so, you know, my dad used to watch like the original Star Trek, and there was what is that guy, George Takei, and he always would say like, "Oh my."
Oh, is that where it came from?
Oh my. Yeah, so I just thought I thought it was so funny because the way he would use it and change the like inflection in his voice, and he'd be like, "Oh my, oh my,"
with his eyes and everything.
Yeah, and it wasn't a word that meant anything. It was like an action word, and it could mean so many different things depending on how you interpreted it, right? So I was like, that is a great word for like a great name for describing animations, because it doesn't like, you know, I didn't want it to be like, you know, corner whatever or anything like that, like corner Shellina Animations. I wanted it to feel like more of an expressive thing, like more of an action word where it could be interpreted in different ways, just like body language can.
Well,
so I was like partially to the George Takei, and then like I just love that like sort of playfulness.
Yeah. So now again, when I'm just gonna have that in my head whenever I'm checking out your latest poses. Oh my, you know. And but what's funny is I never saw your store's name as other than OMY. I never thought it was OMY. But you know, even the way it's written, I could see why some people would look at it and think OMY. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because it's not OHMY. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted a little bit of play on words and to kind of modernize it and kind of make it feel, not too feminine or masculine. It's just like neutral, and yeah.
Yeah. And then you did have more of like an alien one recently. I think you have a few alien ones in your collection, right? I know there was one recent one that was like alien. What was that one called? It's a newer one.
set?
Yeah. Was it
I forget, Zeldora or
yeah, I want to say it was like something like Zelda.
like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't.
looking
You know
for
what?
it
It's
now.
funny. I
Yeah,
have
it's
to
right
often
here.
go to my Flickr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to
This
look
one
at my
here,
own Flickr
Zeldora,
and go,
yeah.
what is this one? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you capture so many different moods and like genres in your animations. It's really entertaining to see. Like Halloween time, I was sharing before, is my favorite because of you. Because of I just like, what's the next like OMY animation that's going to come out for Halloween? And my budget alt has been rocking your Medusa ones, and I just don't get tired of them ever. Like, so that's all she's wearing is just that, and just over and over, and it's just because the depth of the animations is so rich, I don't get bored of it. Like, it's just entertaining
it's
to
always
me.
fun to look at.
Yeah, I just don't get tired of watching my avatar move at that point. And we all like to stare at our avatars a lot as it is.
I think we stare at our own avatars more than any other avatars.
And that's what even comes up in Visionaire, which is, where everybody's super focused on making their avatar the subject of their photography, right? So we're very much in love with our avatars, but to animate them just deepens the love when they have OMY Animations, I think, for sure.
Definitely.
So, and then there was a question I wanted to also address from the chat. I believe it was Adelia asking if you were going to do like a couples like follower HUD at any point, like a walking couples HUD.
Oh, like a hand holding sort of thing?
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that, and I've kind of like played with the idea. The only thing that is a little bit bothersome to me of making a HUD like that is avatars are all different heights and arm lengths, and there's no such thing as standard anything. So how it looks like to me will look extremely different to somebody else, right? So you can't. There's a animation term like inverse kinetics or chemetics, and it's basically when you can lock the hands together and you can make them move together, and that doesn't really translate to avatars very well in Second Life. There's just not the capacity for it. Like, we don't have like a, like all the poses fit the same sort of thing. Like if you were to go in Fortnite, let's say, right, where all the dances look the same and they all fit the same on the wide range, like a variety of the avatars and skins that they have. Where in Second Life, we're all different shapes, sizes, bodies, dimensions, everything like that, and there's no such thing as standard, right? So making like a couple hold hands and look proper is impossible with the technology that we have. So having something a little more updated might be possible. I mean, I can still do it, but it just won't look very good. And I'm not really for making something that I'm not proud of is not something that I would feel comfortable releasing and just being like, here, this is what you wanted, here you go, and if I don't think it's gonna look good, it likely won't. Yeah.
And then a new question. I'm sorry, Tour, I'm hijacking all the questions right now. Yep. You mentioned Fortnite just now. You mentioned The Sims before. I know there's a lot of crossover from creators in Second Life creating in other games. Game content. Is that something that's happened for you, or is that something on the horizon for you, or where do you stand with something like that?
Currently I haven't done any crossover. I've been asked about it. I've been approached from people that do content upload in like The Sims and that sort of thing, and like, would it be something I'm interested in? And I'm not gonna never say no. I've looked at like Roblox and things like that. There are very different ways to upload onto different platforms, and for each of them it's a learning curve. It's like relearning everything all over again. So like I was kind of like curious about Roblox. Oliver, the owner of Pare, who's a good friend of both Wolf and I, he was like, kind of venturing over to Roblox, and he was saying, you should get Oh My over here. It's really great. And I kind of like dabbled in it for a little bit. but there's such a huge learning curve. It would have taken me like months and months,
Hmm.
and that's taking away from everything that I would be able to do here.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I possibly had more time here, then I could focus on like whatever it is there. But I don't have the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I did. But if there was, I know that there is some creators that have like a mediator that will take care of all this stuff in terms of like uploading to Sims, and you
Mm-hmm.
just provide them with your work and then they'll kind of take over there. So I mean that's an option that I wouldn't decline. It's just
Yeah.
in terms of like me being able to like learn that like a whole other platform. I don't think that's something like I really like focusing my work and my energy in Second Life, and until I feel like it's I've hit a roadblock here or there's nothing more I can do, then it might possibly devote some of my own personal time to exploring that. But right now, not something I want to do. But I mean, if somebody's willing to say, "Hey, I'll help you," then
Hmm.
I won't I won't say no to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there's like an automation of some kind that can be done to convert it into the correct format or what have you.
I tried like using some of the animation files that I have and uploading them, and it didn't, because it's like all my stuff is created with Second Life bones and the
Yeah,
rig.
the skeleton is different, but I
Yeah,
wonder
that
if
is,
like if there's a translation that can be done between the two.
yeah. Yeah, like
But
if you were to take a student right out of animation school and say, here, make stuff for Second Life, the way they were taught to make it, it wouldn't even work in Second Life.
yeah,
So you
Hmm.
kind of everything
absolutely,
has to be kind of like geared and adjusted to fit different platforms.
Hmm.
for sure.
So, we're in the final, like, we're probably going to be bringing things to a close. So I just wanted to
Yeah, I
see if
just
there
have a couple
was.
more.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just handling it back. I'm just saying. I
I know.
I had
Sorry.
been bottling up all the questions, and I was
I
like, I'm going
haven't
to jump
crashed. You
in.
know what, guys? I haven't crashed yet. This is a
That's
Fantastic.
pretty
miracle.
awesome.
You got it out of your system early. But yeah,
So,
I kind of
I was really
hijacked.
worried
So
about that.
yeah, go ahead, Tour.
I'm a little curious if we let me preclude this. We have no sway over any of this, but um, are there any ideas or things that you would love to see implemented in Second Life, like from a technical back end, what Second Life supports sort of perspective that would allow you to take your animations like up to the next level?
Yeah. I mean, animation in general is very overlooked. Like the skeleton rig that all of us animators have to use is very dated, very, very, very dated, and like um, it would be great to have an updated rig. I don't know if that is something that Second Life or Linden Labs is even uh, entertaining, but it would be amazing to have an updated rig, maybe some more bones added. Like right now, we don't have any toe bones,
Oh, true.
and there's a lot
Toe
of bones that
bones.
are completely missing
Oh,
from the rigs that would give us more access to like movement and that sort of thing. Um, but just like little things like that, I think would be a really good improvement. Um, yeah.
What about like kind of touching on what you mentioned earlier, some ability to animate relative between avatars in some capacity, in some way?
Oh yeah, like that. I think that would be really beneficial too. I know that they were working. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about that, but it just slipped my mind. But I saw some like whips that Linden Labs had kind of put out a couple of years ago, about having like it's like the IK, it's called, and where like you could lock your limbs into a certain place on the body. So however it was designed, it would how your avatar would be. I don't know how far they came with that and like whatever came of it, but I know it was something that they were working on. And I think some of the struggles that they had was because there is like, you know, there's like such a wide variety of shapes in Second Life, if I were to take and say Consuela's got really tiny arms, let's say, and really small hands, if I were to take my avatar and pose my avatar's wrist on its hip, it would stretch your arm out to accommodate that, right? So I think what they were running into is it's going to break the skeleton. If you go on like, some animation stuff or furniture, and all of a sudden your avatar looks completely distorted, and it's because it's breaking the Second Life rig, right? It's not animated properly. So I think they were just trying to find different ways to make that work without having to restructure all of what it is already existing. But something like that would be amazing. It would be really, really, really cool to have avatars fit everything without their body breaking and their shape morphing into something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, that almost sounds like you're alluding to like rigged animation. Like there's rigged clothing, so to speak, but making it actually follow and respect the, relative.
Well, there's a different ways to animating and how I like animate. There's like IK, and I do a lot of IK in almost all the animations that I do. So it basically locks.
For layman term, IK means
inverse kinetics or kinetics. I think
inverse kinetics.
Something like that. I might not be. I just know IK, but it basically locks the avatar's hands into a certain pose, and then the body, like say if I'm holding my hands up around your neck and they're locked behind your head, right? Like over your shoulders, I can move the rest of my body, the avatar body, and the hands will still stay in place relatively.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, having that like work with a body and because everybody's all different sizes and shapes, even if your hands are short and small or whatever, it's still not going to fit properly.
Right.
Like it works to some degree, but it doesn't work how it's supposed to or how it looks in Blender. Like Second Life has a different sort of like system, but yeah.
All right. And last question that I would ask, and you've kind of alluded to this, but wanted to ask it anyway. If you could leave one lasting mark on how people kind of express themselves and live and exist in SL, like what would that be?
I think if I could leave one lasting mark on how people express themselves through movement, it'd be authentic emotion through motion. I want like every animation that I make to feel alive. Not just like a loop that looks really good or something. I want something to really hit. Whether it's like subtle breathing or the way that an avatar tilts their head in like a mid flirt, or like a slow burn of sensual move that makes your avatar feel real. That's my goal. That's what I chase. And for me, movement is storytelling without words. If people can walk away from OMY Animations and everything that I do feeling like seen, confident, sexy, or connected in a way that words couldn't do, I feel like then I've done my job. So that's ultimately what I want people to feel.
Fantastic.
I love that.
Is there anything that you want to just add or touch on or bring up that, or ask of us even, that we haven't covered yet?
I think, we've kind of touched on so much stuff. I think that all my kind of like, I feel like everything I could possibly say has been said.
I'm sure we could drill more, but we've
probably
respect.
We'll be here. We might have a little. We'll be right back to have us nap.
Well, I know there was one additional question from the chat where George, one of our friends and viewers, had asked what your sign was. They had asked if you were an Aries, and Wolf knew that you were a Cancer. But then I followed it up with, but what are her moon and rising signs? And Wolf was like, and no answer. So do you know your other signs?
I don't. I think that I'm sun, moon. I don't know. I really
Okay.
don't know. I think I've kind of I've done it before, but I saw something I recall. My birthday is July 11th, so
Okay.
it's 7/11. So I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, I get free Slurpees on my birthday. Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
amazing. That's amazing.
But yeah, it's I'm like the crybaby, emotional, um, the typical Cancer, maybe possibly without the insane mood swings.
That's funny. I know that was an additional question from the chat, and I was just amused to see
love that.
Wolf kind of like not, he was confident.
Chiming in and then
yeah, I was
not.
like, yeah, she's a Cancer. Okay. Well, what about her moon
Yeah,
and
that's all.
rising? And then,
Don't know. Bye.
done. Yeah. So,
How typical.
so if you ever want to deep dive into that, let me know. I can help you out.
Yes,
So.
definitely. I love like astrological signs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm a very proud Cancer. So
Nice.
All right. Well, Tour, anything else?
No.
Okay, I don't see any questions in the
Bringing it
chat.
down.
All right, well, I'm going to bring it to a close. So I'm going to thank everyone who joined us in the chat. And now that we're closing,
Good luck.
Shellina, you should know there was a constant high volume of viewers. I
was
know
so
you were
nervous.
stressed at the beginning.
I was so nervous.
Yeah, this was definitely one of our most watched behind the brands so far. So I really appreciate everybody who tuned in, whether you joined us in the chat or
Yeah, subscribe too.
Yes, subscribe, like, comment, share with friends. Usually I shout out everybody who's in the chat. I might mess this up, but we had Linnea Pink, Small Doge, Adelia, if I'm saying that right. My mom was in the chat. George, George.
No, we're only 5 away from 600 now.
Get ready for get that speedo ready, Tour.
Jeez.
Giggles, but Giggles Nordicorn. I'm so bad with some of them. We RX Unicorn. I'm not sure. I'm slaughtering all of these. Crown Magnetar. Let's see. Scrolling. Let's see. Zipper was in the chat.
Hi, Zipper.
Yeah, and I know we had Nova made a comment. So I think that it's, well, Wolf was in the chat. Wolf was fielding questions, so that was great.
Oh, was he? That's good.
Yep, because I know he was not feeling well, under the weather, and wanted the Queen to have her moment on stream today.
Oh, yeah.
And Misfortunate. Then let's see, scrolling. Like I said, there was a lot of chat going on. Brandon. Let's see. So yeah, lots of folks. Tina Han. I just like I said, I've not had this many to call out all at once, so I'm like trying to get everybody. Suri was in the chat. Let's see. I think that's everyone. Scrolling as fast as I can. Yeah. No, John Burrick got one in there too. All right. So yeah, so those are all the folks who were live in the chat with us. We had plenty who didn't say a word in the chat, which I'm still appreciative of. I really appreciate the way folks interact with us, however they're comfortable doing so, whether it's commenting, watching, like I said, liking, subscribing, sharing with friends. Tour and I really enjoy doing this and sharing what I like to call the magic of the metaverse, because, you know, SL gets a lot of trolls and griefers, and there's just so much creativity and goodness here and things to do. And I really enjoy spotlighting folks that are, such as yourself, Shellina, that are just so immensely creative and just really deepen our Second Life experiences, and much like you said, that authenticity through motion and really helping us to express ourselves through our avatars. I just can't express enough gratitude for the work that you do to help us all with that. So to be able to share that with folks and share, you know, you being willing to share your story with so many who love you and your brand and the work that you do, I just really appreciate you taking the time with us today.
It was a pleasure being here, and you guys are amazing. I love everything you guys do. So, when you asked me, I was like, yes, absolutely. As nervous as I was, because I don't really put myself out there, it's been a pleasure, and I'm happy. Like, such amazing questions. So, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. All right, Tour, take us home.
We'll see you all in the next video.